So do you have questions about LinkedIn? I get so many questions about LinkedIn all of the time. And our team does dozens of LinkedIn audits and rewrites and redesigns every single year. So LinkedIn currently has over 850 million members. Let me say that again. LinkedIn currently has 850 million members. And LinkedIn really is an excellent tool for not only finding jobs and networking, but getting your work noticed by the right people. So have you ever taken the time to look at anyone else's LinkedIn profile and wondered exactly how did they get this LinkedIn presence to look so professional? Or how are they coming up with such great content that they post on LinkedIn every single day? You're not alone. We've all seen beautifully crafted LinkedIn profiles with the perfect fonts and graphics and photos and copy. And then you match that with completely filled out and well-written profiles that actually convert. But what is their secret? How do you get your profile to look like that? Luckily, it's not as hard as it seems. And if you want to stand out from the crowd, then I have 5 tips from professional LinkedIn experts who have seen both the good and the bad profiles, and I'm excited to share them with you today. Hello and welcome to another episode of Digital Marketing Made Simple. I'm your host, Jennie Lyon, and today I wanted to dig into 5 of my favorite professional LinkedIn tips that can really help you to attract a larger audience. So let's jump in. All right, so maybe you haven't updated your LinkedIn profile in years. Maybe you did it just recently, but have you taken the time to really look at it with an auditing eye for not only the copy and the messaging, but the design and everything that goes into not only making your LinkedIn profile look amazing, but that it is also going to convert? All right, well, let's jump in. First off, I thought we would talk a little bit about the best practices when it comes to LinkedIn profiles. So first up, you really want to use a professional or a very well taken photo. This is not the place for a selfie. So realistic imagery really has for sure found its place in, all of social media. However, one of the caveats is really with LinkedIn and deciding on how you want to present yourself there. So you're thinking headshots versus lifestyle photography. And you really want to choose one that is really going to make you look professional and that's going to attract the type of audience that you want to connect with. So you want to make sure that you choose a photo that's really going to make you stand out as the professional that you are. Next up is you have to write a really compelling summary. And that summary needs to include not only your experience, but other items as well. It's not just a list of your skills. So bullet points do have their place, but the connection really is key here for conversions. So your profile really needs to highlight what you have to offer, what the problem you're solving is, basically how you can help your client get from where they are today to where they want to be. Next up is that really important intro section at the top. So you want to make sure that that also tells your audience exactly who you are and how you can help them, how you can really take them on that journey to where they want to be. And you also want to claim your professional presence on LinkedIn. So you don't want it to go dormant. LinkedIn content really does have a different strategy than other social media platforms. The tone and the message here really is much more professional and much less personal. So keep that in mind when you're creating any type of content, that LinkedIn is a professional network, so probably not the best place for memes. And then last but not least are recommendations. Do not forget about recommendations. These are so important. You want to make sure that you're getting recommendations from people you have worked with in the past or colleagues, because that's really going to make a huge difference. And your LinkedIn profile, it's kind of like a one-sheet website. So keep that in mind as well. So as we're going, as a resource, I do have a 6-step reputation management workbook, which can really help with a lot of the things that we're talking about, because it's not only about your LinkedIn profile, but it's your overall online presence. And a lot of times, you may have a website that's out of date, and we don't want your business to seem like it's out of business. And with so many customers really equating that overall online reputation with real world success, it's really more important than ever to make sure that you have a very robust online presence. So that includes a great website along with your social media. So make sure to grab that workbook. You can do so at jennylyon.com/reputation. Okay, next up are some of my favorite LinkedIn strategies. So as someone who works in LinkedIn all of the time, I've definitely learned a thing or two about the platform. And there are a few key strategies that everyone should really take advantage of. So you want to use LinkedIn. They have a profile builder that you can use to really create a professional looking profile. So definitely go through the LinkedIn profile builder and make sure that you've checked all of those boxes. Next up is you really want to share your work experience, your skills, your education. Consider including job descriptions and reference letters, anything that you can really pop into your LinkedIn profile that's going to give any person, audience member, a really great eagle-eyed view of who you are. Next up is use keywords. This is something I see skipped a lot, so make sure that you're using keywords throughout your profile and your bio so that when people are searching, and looking for professionals in your industry, or, looking for someone in those specific qualifications, you'll pop up. Don't forget to join groups. Groups are huge, and you want to join groups that are relevant to your industry or your profession. And also when you complete or update your overall ICA, come on, you know what it is, right? Your ideal client avatar. You want to make sure that you keep note of where your target audience hangs out. That will help you to join groups where you can network, support, and position yourself as the expert while still building those relationships within LinkedIn. And last but not least, you want to post updates on your LinkedIn status and comment on other people's posts on a very regular basis. So again, relationship building is really going to be number one. And just by applying a few simple strategies, you can really dramatically see an uptick in your connections and your conversations. So this is something that I see a lot even in my own account. I tend to be much more active on LinkedIn when I'm not super, super busy. As soon as I get super busy and I stop, being active every single day in LinkedIn, I can see the difference. When I really show up every day, that is when those connections really happen, and I'm having conversations that are, leading to a lot of different types of opportunities. Some of them are new clients, some of them are, joint ventures, different types of projects. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. And if you're like me and you're really busy and you just don't see yourself having the time to do it every day, then that's the time to hire a virtual assistant or like our digital marketing team who can help you with that. Okay, next up is LinkedIn content. So as I mentioned, your overall LinkedIn marketing strategy, it really does have to differ from your other social marketing strategy. So LinkedIn is really the place where you need to position yourself as an expert, and it's very impactful for gaining traction for engagement. Of course, you also need to engage and share other people's posts that are going to be relevant to your audience. You don't want to remove that element of connective marketing. So really ensure that any content that you share is educational and suitable for LinkedIn. This isn't the place to post pictures of your kids or your pets. It's just not. And if you're not sure where to start, then here's a few tips to get you going. So first up, for the first week, share an article or a blog post that you found interesting. The next day, post a question or a poll related to your industry, and then see what type of response you get from that. Then on the next day, write a post about the trends in your industry and how they might affect you or your business. And then on the next day, share a video or a podcast that would be interesting to your audience. The following day, ask for feedback on a specific topic related to your industry. And then on the final day, post your weekly podcast, your YouTube video, or your blog post. That'll at least get you started. You'll see what type of content resonates with your audience, what they're commenting on, what they're engaging in, and then just rinse and repeat. Do this again the following week, but tweak what you do based on the results that you got the week before. So there are some mistakes that you want to make sure that you avoid on LinkedIn. You don't want to just post to post, right? Don't publish content just because you think that you have to. Make sure that your updates are valuable and interesting to your audience. Next up is don't post too often or infrequently. So you may have heard that posting daily is better than posting once a week, and that's sometimes true. But when you have something valuable to say or to share, not just for the sake of posting, then that's the time to post. You want to post on a basis that makes sense for your audience, but also for what you can maintain. Next up, spamming other people's updates with comments like great job or congratulations. That can make you look like you don't know what else to say. So you keep saying the same thing, right? And it doesn't feel authentic. Again, LinkedIn is really where people are looking to build relationships. So you want to make sure that if you're going to take the time to comment, to make sure that that comment's thoughtful. And I always love leaving a comment with a question because that starts a conversation. Next up is don't post a bunch of bullet points without any context or examples. Your audience will not be able to follow along with your thoughts if they don't know what you mean by increased productivity by 5% the last quarter, or improve client satisfaction ratings by 20%. You need to be specific. If you're going to pop in different types of content, make sure that you have examples, case studies, or some sort of context around it so that your audience knows what you're talking about. And last but not least is don't post links to articles that are all about you or your company. If that's all people see is that every single post that you make is about yourself, they will unfollow because people don't want to just see self-promotion. They're really looking for valuable content and valuable connections on LinkedIn. All right, next up is you want to build a valuable audience. So building an audience, it can be frustrating and it can also be confusing when you're first starting. And this is kind of the main point of digital marketing. And with enough patience and some simple practices, you will have a following on LinkedIn in no time. So here's some of my favorite quick tips. Post links to other people's articles, preferably those that are relevant to your audience, because this is going to show them that you care about their interests and you want to provide them with useful information. Next is post original content. So that's everything from blog posts to videos, industry trends, anything that you can post that's going to help you stand out from your competition. And this one's really important. Create a community. It's so important to create space for people where they can come together, they can share their experiences, and really celebrate your brand. So if you have the resources, this is a really great time to consider hiring a virtual assistant or help from a team like ours. We have virtual assistants. We also have digital marketing experts or community managers that can help you, because you really do need to have someone in that dedicated space to help you build a following by engaging with your brand, not only on LinkedIn, but overall on social media. Next step is make sure that you're creating a sense of urgency. You really want to get people's attention. So that's where that sense of urgency comes in. So you could post limited time offers or special events. This is really effective if your business sells seasonal products or services. So always keep an eye and, think about how can I create a sense of urgency? And then last but not least is get people excited. If you have an upcoming sale or an event, you want people to be really excited about it. So you can do this by posting a number of days before the sale begins or sharing some sort of special features of your event, client testimonials, that type of thing. All right, so what did we learn today? Well, we talked about the best practices for your LinkedIn profile and a few of the top LinkedIn strategies that you can put into play today that are really going to make a difference in attracting that larger audience. We talked a little bit about LinkedIn content, mistakes to avoid on LinkedIn, and then some tips for building that powerful audience that you really do want to have on LinkedIn. So here is my homework for you. So let's give you some homework for this week. I think this is something I've been thinking more and more about, and I know that with my clients, they really love it when I outline homework. So I thought I would try the same thing with you guys. So first up, if you haven't looked at your LinkedIn profile in quite some time, it's a good time to look at auditing it and rewriting and redesigning it. So if that's something that you're kind of like, oh, I don't really know where to start, then definitely reach out. We offer LinkedIn audits, and our audits include everything from rewriting, redesigning the entire profile. We really do a deep dive into it, and we even provide you with a full punch list on everything that can be done to improve it. And then our team of expert marketers, copywriters, and designers, we dig in and we rewrite your bio. We rewrite the entire profile. We design your cover image and pump up your headshot. We do the whole thing. And right now, we are offering a $100 discount to our podcast listeners. So if you're interested in a LinkedIn audit, rewrite, and redesign, then go ahead and jump over to jennylyon.com/LinkedIn to grab the LinkedIn audit and use the code LinkedIn100 to get the $100 discount. Now is the perfect time to do that going into the new year. But if you feel like you have a handle on it, then go ahead and audit and start to rewrite and redesign that LinkedIn profile by showcasing your brand. So here's your homework. You want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is very clear, clean, and organized. You want it to showcase your brand and your company with an amazing headshot that needs to look like you. And again, not the place for selfies. And you need a cover image as well that's really going to grab their attention and immediately tell your audience what you do and how you can help them. Then start to play with your bio. You want to make sure that that bio is really attention grabbing. Is probably one of the most important pieces of your LinkedIn profile, and it is not the place to talk about yourself. So you really want to make sure that you use all of the space that you have. It's usually about 120 characters, and make this snippet about your audience and how you can help them. Then go through and add content to your About section. You want to think of your About section as your sales page. This is the place to include everything that you have to offer. You can include case studies and testimonials, but you want to make sure that you break it up into bite-sized pieces so that people can easily consume it. So if you're wondering what that looks like, jump over, follow me on LinkedIn. We can connect with each other, but you'll see how I have mine broken up. And make sure that you have your contact information and a call to action front and center. So just like your website, when someone visits your LinkedIn profile, you most likely are only going to have a few seconds to hook them. So make sure that they know exactly who you are, what you do, how you can help them from where they are today to where they want to be, and give them those links that you want them to take as your call to action. Because the bottom line is that LinkedIn is where professionals go to network. So it's really important to use it as a business owner. And when you promote yourself or your business, make sure that you're focusing on the value you provide rather than just showing off and showing them how many followers and connections that you have. You'll be really surprised at how many people will contact you once they see that you are interested in working with others and that you're engaging. So again, take a look at your LinkedIn profile and think of it as your online business card or your resume. People will make assumptions about you and your brand and your company when they see it. So you want to make sure that those assumptions are positive. And you want your profile to really represent you and your brand in the best possible light so that people are really eager to work with you. LinkedIn is really an amazing tool for building and networking and growing your business. The key is to know how to use it effectively. And with these tips, I think you're really going to be able to optimize your profile and connect with people who can help grow your business. You definitely don't want to sully that first impression with a mediocre LinkedIn profile. So again, if you need any help, please reach out. My team and I, we are here to support you and want you to really put your best first impression foot forward on LinkedIn and bring that profile to the forefront. So if you need help, have any questions, please book a free consultation with me at jennylyon.com/chat. Make sure that you checked out the LinkedIn audit and grab that 6-step reputation management workbook, because either way, it's all good information that you can put into action today. All right, well, I know that was a lot about LinkedIn, but I hope that you found these 5 professional LinkedIn tips helpful, and that once you implement them, you'll start to see that you're attracting a larger audience that's not only an audience of followers and connections, but an audience that you can build a community around and that can convert into paying customers. All right, well, I'll see you next time on another episode of Digital Marketing Made Simple. See you soon.